And they're off. My Ileana was off slowly. A quick start for Sexy Blue, sprinting away at once. Jolie Candy came away smartly in second, and it's just a length off this front runner. It's another two, back to Charm Dream in third, above the ordinary races in fourth. Then Memo Sis in mid-pack fifth, 5 lengths off the lead, 2 clear of Little Silver Girl, and My Ileana is far back. Jolie Candy has moved through on the inside to challenge Sexy Blue. They race together as one with 3 furlongs to travel, noses apart. Memo Sis starting to pick up ground on the inside of Charm Dream. These 4 have pulled pretty much clear. A couple more back to Above the Ordinary, who's in fifth. Sexy Blue has something left with a quarter of a mile to go. Turns home wide. Memo Sis hugs that rail and is coming with each and every stride. They're followed by Jolie Candy, a week in third. They're a furlong from the finish. And here's Memo Sis inside of Sexy Blue. Memo Sis, Sexy Blue, head and head. Memo Sis gets the upper hand and starts to pull away late. It's Memo Sis, a nice comeback W. Scores by 2. Sexy Blue was second, a long way back. Little Silver Girl third. Then a photo between Charm Dream and My Ileana, who was off slowly, finished with some decent energy. Straight cash to the outside. Going in. We're in the gate. And they're off. Redial had a very slow beginning. It's a quick one for Buster's Way in the center of the course, up to take command at once, crossing the dirt a length and a half in front. Cajun Gold is second through the opening furlong. They're followed by Going Viral, Straight Cash, and Redial is at the back, 5 lengths off the battle up top between Cajun Gold and Buster's Way, who are 1-2, chased by Going Viral, 3 deep at the half-mile pole with 2 lengths to make up. Straight Cash is next, Redial down at the rail. Cajun Gold takes him into the far turn and pulls away, leads it by 3 lengths now. Going Viral inches up on the outside of Buster's Way as they come toward the quarter pole. Buster's Way dropping right out of it. It is Cajun Gold, 3/4 of a length. Going Viral moves to engage. Straight Cash in third. Then Redial there at the top of the stretch. And Going Viral. Here's Straight Cash with a clear shot, pouncing on the top pair inside the final 1/8 of a mile and opening up 2, leaving Cajun Gold, Going Viral, and all the rest far behind. Pratt and Baltus strike again, this time Straight Cash, winning by 3.5. Cajun Gold was clearly second best. Going Viral finished third. Pick 6. $2 pick 6 has a carryover of more than $86,000. They'll be at the gate in 20. We're in the gate. And they're off in the Fasig-Tipton Santa Isabel. And Masom is clearly the quickest early on. Clears off to lead it by 2 lengths in the first few jumps. Howen and Super Speed are side by side, second and third. And down at the rail, Just As Fancy fourth, 2.5 lengths off Masom, who cruises to the 6 furlong pole, leading by 1.5 lengths. The favorite Super Speed tracks in second, another 2 to the 2 trailers, Howen and Just As Fancy. It's Juan Hernandez and Masom bounding along 1.5 lengths. Super Speed and Flavien Prat inching a little bit closer in second. 2 more lengths back to Howen and Just As Fancy. No change in the running order as they head to the half-mile pole. Behind Masom, who's been there every step of the way, well within herself. Almost 2 lengths now. Super Speed in second, gets a little bit of a nudge to try and get closer. Howen is clearly third as they race in single file. Just As Fancy at the back of the field, 3 furlongs to go. Masom, Super Speed, trying to get closer in second. These 2 have dominated. Howen is third, 4 lengths off these 2 who passed the 5/16 together as one. Masom and Super Speed. Super Speed right up alongside now as the field turns for home. Mason Super Speed. Super Speed gets a little bit of a nudge and puts her nose in front. Mason not done, battling bravely. These two are nose to nose coming to the 16th pole. Mason and Super Speed. What a thrilling performance from both. Mason, Super Speed, nothing in it to the wire. Mason or Super Speed. Mason held off Super Speed in a thrilling renewal of the Fasig-Tipton Santa Isabel Hall of Fame. And that induction takes place tomorrow. We're in the gate. And they're off. Factory drive, but Mr. Fabricator is a little bit quicker, and Mongolian Champ wants a part of the pace. Several of them vying for command as they move into the first turn. And it is Mongolian Champ along the inside who's just in front. Mr. Fabricator presses from second, a length and a half to Factory Drive in third. They're followed at the rail by Silver and Black with Topper's Wager racing in between horses and only about 2.5 lengths or so off the lead. Maxville is next. Resemblance has no alternative to go about 6 wide down the back stretch, and it's 3 more back to Audible Silence. They have 4.5 furlongs to go, and the scramble continues on the front end. Mr. Fabricator and Factory Drive head and head. Topper's Wager, Mongolian Champ are right there. 4 separated by less than a length. Just in behind them is Silver and Black. Now Tiago Pereira gets Resemblance to make his move. He's had to go wide throughout and would have to be much the best to overcome it. A gap of 5. Maxville is dropping out of it, and Audible Silence is down at the rail. They're coming toward the quarter pole. Mongolian Champ just in front. Resemblance in the pink blinkers on the extreme outside. And in between those two, Topper's Wager as the field races to the top of the stretch. And now Resemblance comes looking for the lead. Silver and Black went even wider, but is finishing strongly into second. They're followed by a softened up Mongolian Champ inside Topper's Wager. 16th pole, Resemblance by 3. Silver and Black is game, but how much the best was Resemblance. The prompt chalk scores. Silver and Black, then a photo between Mongolian Champ and Topper's Wager. They're in the gate. And they're off, and Abaddon flies out of the gate, goes straight to the front. Hot Journey is showing good early speed. Right-hand Rider is also sprinting into contention as they move into the first turn. Midnight Metal is in the mix, too. He's racing in between horses and vying for the early lead. And having to check sharply there was Hot Journey. Hot Journey checked and is all the way back to 4th now, and 3.5 or so off the leaders as they make their way onto the backstretch. Wild Wager is next. Super Muzzle on the outside has 5 lengths to make up. Then comes Ruler of Angels. Contrary Chieftain is toward the back of the field, more than a dozen off the pace, and 2 in front of Fantastic Dream. It's Abaddon just in front, Midnight Metal along the inside second. Right-hand Rider 3 deep under a nice hold in third. Just behind them comes Hot Journey. Wild Wager is racing in between horses, and just outside of them comes Super Muzzle with 5 to make up. Contrary Chieftain is going all the way around horses. He's got 5 wide into the turn, but nevertheless making steady headway, and in fact coming gamely after the top pair. Behind them comes Ruler of Angels and Fantastic Dream. They're coming to the quarter pole, and Contrary Chieftain's made this big move, and he takes the lead without being asked to do so. Right-hand Rider is trying to cling to him in second. Abaddon third. The others well back there at the top of the stretch, and Contrary Chieftain has opened up 3, just sailing through the stretch as much the best. Good battle between Right-hand Rider and Abaddon. Right-hand Rider just in front of him, but it's all Contrary Chieftain and Asa Espinoza clobbering the competition by almost 5 lengths. Right-hand Rider was second, Abaddon third, Super Muzzle fourth. Set. And they're off. Beautiful break for 5-0 Cocktail in the center of the course. Long May She Rain flashing that customary early zip, and just behind them, Lady Gregory is well spotted in third. Down at the rail comes Nancy Griffith with Princess Snow in between horses. Another 2 lengths back to Raising Silver. Berry Valley is toward the back of the field with Blue Wildcat just inside of her. They have less than a half mile to go. Long May She Rain leads it by a length and a half, tracked intently by Lady Gregory second. Then 5-0 Cocktail on the rail in third. They are followed by Princess Snow. Berry Valley outside of that pair, racing 2 lengths clear of Nancy Griffith. Blue Wildcat is in between horses, and Raising Silver is wide there at the top of the stretch. Long May She Rain, Lady Gregory poised on the outside. These two arrive at the 8th pole together. Lady Gregory now with big strides up to take the lead away from Long May She Rain. Then comes Blue Wildcat in third. It's Lady Gregory who's going to prove much the best. Hand-ridden to score by 3. Second to Long May She Rain, then Blue Wildcat and Berry Valley. We're in the gate. And they're off. Very even start. Ermelinda's Fancy is the first one out of the gate with a very narrow edge through the opening stages. Blazing Pem right up alongside. They're followed by Spiritist, who's not far behind. Cody Boy moves up to take third. Billy Joe Shaver broke well, but is now 5th, taking 4th. Behind them comes Big Splash and 3 more to Mendelssohn's Music. They passed the half-mile pole. Blazing Pem and Cody Boy. Cody Boy a narrow advantage. Just behind them, Billy Joe Shaver is in third. Spiritist is in 4th with the red blinkers. Down at the rail, Ermelinda's Fancy. Big Splash drops out of it, passed by Mendelssohn's Music. A quarter of a mile to go, and Billy Joe Shaver takes the lead, opens up a length and a half. Spiritist is coming after him in second. These two are 1-2 coming to the 8th pole. Billy Joe Shaver, Spiritist, 3 lengths back to Big Splash in third. Mid-stretch, Billy Joe Shaver, 2.5 length lead over Spiritist, who's trying his best, but Billy Joe Shaver is simply too good. And Billy Joe Shaver scores by 3.5. Spiritist a solid second. Then it was Big Splash, Mendelssohn's Music in a photo for 4th with Ermelinda's Fancy. He'll be the last one. Goes in. And they're off. City Exile is heading out for the early lead. On the outside, here's Genius Jimmy now sprinting up. And Genius Jimmy will be the clear-cut leader through the opening stages. Hard-Headed is in second. City Exile alongside of him in third. The pace appears honest. Then comes Eye on Rye, who's 5 lengths off the lead. Irish Prophet is racing just behind him. 2 more lengths. Cathal is by himself. Then comes Grand Aspen. A couple of more back to Maltese Falcon. And at the back of the field, the 2 trailers are Maniatic, who races on the inside as they straighten up for the run down the back stretch. Outside of him comes Call Sign 7. They have a half mile left to travel, and it is still Genius Jimmy bounding along with a 3-length lead. Hard-Headed is chasing him from second. Another length and a half. City Exile has to get closer, followed by Ion Rye, and Irish Prophet is 5 lengths off the lead. Here's Cathal right in the thick of it now, 6 lengths off the pace. Another 2 lengths back to Grand Aspen. Call Sign 7 is underway outside Maltese Falcon. Maniatic is the trailer at the top of the stretch, where it is Genius Jimmy, Hard-Headed right up alongside in second. Cathal is cut loose and coming nicely on the center of the race course. Far outside Irish Prophet and Grand Aspen past the 16th. Hard-Headed is just in front, and Headed prevails. Photo for second close between Genius Jimmy and Cathal. On the scene late was Grand Aspen. Irish Prophet was in the mix too for trying to get a piece of that super high five.
As you just saw, there is barely a cloud in the sky, and that's good news. You know why? Because, of course, we're going to be on the main track, likely to be listed either fast or good, to be determined in a moment. But also, more importantly, all races are on the turf course today. Despite an inch of rain during the week here in Southern California, the turf course will be rated as good, and all races will remain on turf, as I mentioned, as scheduled. Thanks to all the hardworking people, both on the main track and the turf course, who allow us to have these privileges to play the races just like we handicap them. They literally work 24 hours a day. And you know, another person who works 24 hours a day, my seminar guest sitting next to me, he texted me his seminar picks at 1:45 this morning. I don't know when he sleeps, but you know what? He's rewarded for all his hard work. He hit the pick six on a $144 ticket and returned in excess of $20,000. His name, Chris Victor. Chris, happy Friday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on.
Congrats on hitting that ticket. You got a big smile on your face still. That was nice, right?
Yeah, you know what? Hitting something like that is definitely special. And, you know, just to do it on track, right, I think is even more special. To do it live was incredible. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, let's take a look at your wizardry. Thanks to you, we actually have a copy of your ticket. This was this past Sunday when you played a $144 ticket. Very economical ticket. There it is. You only had one single in the second leg. I have the result charts right here, Chris. So let's walk through each leg. Of course, race number 6, which began the pick 6 sequence this past Sunday, looked like it was a 2-horse race between Maysam and Super Speed. Yep. You used both. Did you ever consider singling maybe just one?
I did absolutely consider singling.
Who would it have been?
Super Speed.
Actually, oh, you would have been a loser.
I would have been a loser, absolutely. And, that's why you have to take that economical approach, but also the realistic approach. And, you know, who can beat me here? And it was definitely, you know, the 5. So I had to use it, and it bumped my ticket, doubled, obviously, but it was worth the use, I think. So.
And Maysam, you actually got the better price, 3-2 over Super Speed, who was even money, but you got the nose bob and you were on your way. That was the first leg. The second leg, you singled Resemblance from the Steve Knapp barn, had been running in higher maiden claiming competition, dropped down in class, never looked like a loser at odds of 9-5, coasted home by almost 3 lengths.
Yeah, no, I really looked at that horse and I was like, I have to make a stance somewhere. And this is where I felt the most confidence. I love the Steve Knapp barn. Tiago Pereira is one of my favorite jockeys to use. And yeah, that was just where I made the stance and had the opinion.
Now, I always kid people, what pool are you in? Because in the third leg, you use 7, 10, and 12 right there on your ticket. That would have been race number 8. Ironically, that's exactly how they ran in the trifecta, 7, 10, 12. When they came in that order, and by the way, number 7, Contrary Chieftain won, paid $8.40, not the favorite. You had to feel good that your handicapping was pretty sharp because, like I said, not only did it keep you alive in the pick 6, but you nailed the trifecta cold.
Yeah, I went live on Instagram, and I broadcasted the race live through my Instagram feed, and I said it in the paddock as well, and on the feed, I said, this race is going to finish 7, 10, 12. Like, I have the feeling that it's going to happen. And as we watched the race and listened to the call live, I just remember one of the horses, I believe it was the 7 that made the sweeping move on the outside. Correct. To come and finish and finish well. So
was 7th at the half-mile pole in front at the 3/4 mile marker. Certainly made that big white sweeping move. Your concern might have been maybe she moved a little bit too early. Maybe he moved a little bit too early.
Correct.
But he continued his momentum all the way to the wire.
It's definitely tough to make that deep move like he did, and no, it just prevailed. And Tiago ran a hell of a race for me.
So you're 3 for 3, and the heart starts to pump. And in the next leg, race number 9, you use 7 and 8. Ironically, that's exactly how the exacta came in. I really like Lady Gregory for trainer Jeff Mullins. Had a trouble trip last time out. No trouble in this race on Sunday. Easy winner, paid $680. You're 4 for 4. You turn the page and you go to the next race. Billy Joe Shaver, who's the 8, wins at odds on for trainer Steve Miotti, wins by 3 lengths. So now the fun starts to kick in, right? You're 5 for 5. You only got 3 horses. There's a lot of other runners that could beat you. We talked in the paddock before the race. We both really liked the way the Jonathan Thomas runner looked.
Yeah.
Irish prop. Excuse me. That was Grand Aspen. Grand Aspen. You didn't have him on your ticket.
I did not.
So I'm sure you saved a little bit because you saw the will pays.
I went to the window, got the will pays, looked to see who can beat me here. What's the horse? Like you said, we had just talked in the paddock, and that 8 horse looked amazing. And you have to go and put some money on it. You do have to do the smart thing, and I did. I went and I put I think it was like 100, 150 to win on it. Just to make sure, to cover the ticket. And if I were to lose, I made a little bit of money still. But yeah, heart's definitely pounding at that point, going back and sitting in the box. And just try to wait till they break that gate.
It's funny you would use the word heart because the winner of the nightcap was a runner by the name of Heart Headed. He broke from post position number 2, wearing saddlecloth number 2. Let's pick him up on the backside and watch the performance in the nightcap, making sure that Chris won his pick 6 wager that returned in excess of $19,000.
And it is still Genius Jimmy bounding along with a 3-length lead. Hard-Headed is chasing him from second. Another length and a half. City Exile has to get closer, followed by Ion Rye, and Irish Prophet is 5 lengths off the lead. Here's Cathal right in the thick of it now, 6 lengths off the pace. Another 2 lengths back to Grand Aspen. Call Sign 7 is underway outside Maltese Falcon. Maniatic is the trailer at the top of the stretch, where it is Genius Jimmy, Hard-Headed right up alongside in second. Cathal is cut loose and coming nicely on the center of the race course. Far outside, Irish Prophet and Grand Aspen past the 16th. Hard-Headed is just in front, and Hard-Headed prevails.
Chris, your best result got to the wire at odds of 16-1, Hard-Headed. You had 2 and 10. You didn't have number 9, Genius Jimmy. I'm sure your heart was beating a little bit, but you knew what the payout was going to be, and it was in excess of $18,000.
Yeah, $18,958. And, you know, if you were here on track that day, there was a rainbow that had come over the back of the track, and it was just kind of one of those feelings and one of those special moments where I won't forget, where a lot of the people were snapping photos, and it was that calm, surreal moment, like this could actually happen right now.
Pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so to speak. It was basically at the starting gate for the 7 furlong shoot races. Yep. That was a very magical moment. I actually posted that picture on Twitter. But we just saw the teller balance that had to pay you out. Not only did you have this pick 6, you had all the cons, you had the pick 3. I mean, you basically had a fantastic day.
It was a
20,000. I hope you left at least $9.60 for the teller, if not a little bit more.
He got a little bit more than that. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was one of those days you hope and dream for. And as a handicapper, you kind of sit back in relief. Like, I've had a lot of close days, a lot of big days that, you know, not as big as those, but it's definitely a special day to remember, and obviously, you know, to document and to share. So I appreciate that.
That's turf history. What can you do for us today, Chris? We're going to find out who you like on today's 9-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Mirabati and get the early changes on today's Friday's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. Main track has not been rated. The turf course is good. We'll get you that main track rating ASAP. Here are the early changes. In the first, number 4, Bolt Zapper, make the jockey Armando Ayuso. Race 1, number 4, Armando Ayuso. In the second, number 8, Paul Vincent's Poem, make the jockey Adrian Escobedo. Adrian Escobedo rides number 8 in race 2. In the third, no scratches or jockey changes. The fourth is the start of the $2 pick 6 and the all-turf pick 3. No scratches or jockey changes. Blinker notes in race number 5. Start of the late pick 5, several blinker notes. Race 6, scratch 1, Get 'em Dusty. Scratch 5, Thanks Maggio. Overweight, number 10, Beskar, 1 pound over. Number 11, Sea Dog is drawing in to run. Scratch 12, Mr. Fighter. Scratch 13, It's Thievery. And scratch 14, Mount Peliar. Race 6, scratch numbers 1, 5, 12, 13, and 14. Late pick 4 starts with the 6th. No changes in the 7th, which is the first leg of the late pick 3. No scratches or jockey changes in race 8, beginning of the late double. And in the 9th race, super high 5 wagering is offered. And there's a 2-day carryover, $55,000 plus in the super high 5 2-day carryover. Good luck in the super high 5 and with all your wagers today. Have a great afternoon here at Santa Anita Park. Post time for the first is in 57 minutes at 12:30. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. And he is with a great handicapper Who just hit the pick six? Chris Victor.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Chris Victor. He's a horse player that basically is here on an everyday basis. He had the pick six this past Sunday, put in a $144 ticket. As you just saw, he got back over $20,000. Congratulations, Chris. But you're no stranger to big paydays. You were actually on my show last year around the end of the meet, and we were talking about your visit to the World Series of Poker, which hadn't happened yet. The main event. You had played in a home game, and you won the $10,000 buy-in, and so you participated, and you know your way around the felt of a poker table. And there were 10,000 players approximately that put up $10,000. So the pool was huge, and we've all seen the TV coverage on ESPN. You actually finished 199th and got back $60,000. That's the good news. The bad news is you have to be a little bit frustrated because you were so close to maybe making one of the final tables.
Yeah, being that it's 5 days, that I played 5 days, but the tournament's actually 7 or 8 days, and it's a mental gymnastics, Tom. It's a young
man's game.
You
see the final table now. There's no old dudes like me. They're all your age.
There's definitely an endurance test to it, right? And sitting for that long and going through that many hands and playing with so many different good players out there, it's definitely a challenge, and one that I really enjoyed.
Was it a bad beat, or was it basically a beat where you thought you might get beat?
Yeah, you're definitely, chips are dwindling. The blinds are raising very consistently. So I had pocket fives actually, and I flopped a set, flopped the set, and unfortunately with my jam all in, I had one caller and he turned the straight, so it knocked me out.
But that's more enthusiasm and more motivation to get back there this coming year, right? As far as maybe surpassing your final total in terms of finishing 199th.
Yeah, that would definitely be something on the list to do this year. Hopefully, I can definitely get back there.
We got enough for 2 entries now with the 20,000 you got in your pocket.
Yeah, I think that it's possible. We could definitely go. I definitely want to look into the National Handicapping Contest. So I think I'm looking to set my eyes on something new instead of poker. But who knows?
You can't go wrong either way. That's for sure. The NHC, which is going to be next weekend at Horseshoe Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, is certainly an aspiration for many horse players. And those of you who have qualified, not only congratulations, but best of luck next weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, Chris, let's take a look at today's 9-race card. Kicking things off in race number 1, we're on the main track. 6 furlongs is the distance. As we can now see, the main track is listed as good, as is the turf course. Race 1 begins the 50-cent early pick 5. Maiden Claiming Calbred's in for a $50,000 tag. Make the jockey on number 4, Bolt Zapper, Amando A.U. So the morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 9-5 is the rail horse, number 1, Proud Racer. Proud Racer has drawn the rail now all 3 times to start off his career, unfortunately. Last time I ran against a Mike Pipey runner by the name of Uncle Chili. Let's take a look at Proud Racer's last race. The thing I want you to focus on is right before they spring the latch, you'll see that Proud Racer kind of rears up in the gate, throws his head, and effectively loses all chance of beating the 1-5 favorite, but still finished a really good second. So let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action back on February 7th and watch the runner breaking from the rail, who is Proud Racer.
And they're off. Uncle Chili bounced out alertly. Excessive Thievery and Papa Loves Vegas. Papa Loves Vegas now takes a narrow lead. Then Bo's Buddy and Proud Racer, who is off slowly and is now angled to the outside. And Bo's Buddy is losing ground with every jump. Down the backstretch, Papa Loves Vegas just in front. Uncle Chili and neck back second. 3 more to Excessive Thievery. A gap of 5 to Proud Racer and a distance to Bo's Buddy. Around the far turn, Papa Loves Vegas is the leader. At the rail, Uncle Chili keeping pace. They pass the 3/8 pole together, and now Uncle Chili asserts himself and takes the lead. 5 lengths back to Proud Racer, trying to make some ground third, and then Excessive Thievery. Uncle Chili puts away Papa Loves Vegas at the top of the stretch. Proud Racer running on willingly in the center of the racetrack as they come toward the 8th pole. Uncle Chili 4-length lead. Proud Racer clearly second. And then it's Papa Loves Vegas in third. They pass the 16th pole, and it's Uncle Chili by 4. And Uncle Chili will take care of business here as a heavy favorite. Uncle Chili by 4 lengths.
Chris, proud racer, blew the brake, tried hard as we saw, it didn't change leads, now takes a drop down in class. Like I said, the betting public kind of likes him. I think you do too.
I'm definitely a proud racer fan today. I think that miss on the brake at the gate is significant enough to run back. That sustained move, into the stretch is something that is definitely important to watch. I think that today getting a clean brake is important. Ricky Gonzalez is the pilot. I think he's going to have that lead and shouldn't turn home. Or should not have an issue turning for home.
Your key commentary is should get a clean break because Proud Racer's first 2 career efforts, both times off slow. Unfortunately, the rail doesn't do him any favors, but he looks to be tough based on the drop in class. The best last race by our speed figure, and of course, Richie Baltas training, Ricky Gonzalez riding. You also like the 3 last call, Paul, but let's face it, he's an 0 for 19 maiden. He's had plenty of chances, but maybe today's his day.
Maybe he found his friends today, but I had to put 2 horses in, and that was just the next best bet for me. So that's the 3.
Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. Once again, we're sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. This time for $10,000. We've got a field of 8. Take note, the jockey number 8, Paul's Vincent Poem, is Adrian Escobedo, the morning line favorite. Number 4, Mobytown, fresh off a victory for trainer Steve Knapp. 2-1 on the morning line. Thumbs up on the favorite here, Chris?
Yeah, I think that this is definitely a formful race as well. 6 tries over at the San Anita Dirt Course, and he's 3 wins, 2 seconds, and just enjoys the distance as well. Ran a 77 Beyer last out. I think he can only improve from there.
Chris, you made a very good point right now when you said it looks to be another formful race, because I'm just going to go back and revisit your winning pick 6 ticket on Sunday and read the winning payouts in terms of the pick 6 winners in the sequence in order. Maysam paid $5, $5.80, $8.40, $6.80, $3.40. And with that type of sequence, with the first 5 winners, you wouldn't think that the pick 6 would pay $18,000, but all you needed is one long shot, hard-headed, who went off at odds of 16-1, and lo and behold, the payoff exploded. I think a lot of players fall into the conception you need a bunch of long shot winners in order to make a good score. Yours is a perfect example how if you're able to string together all those winners, in retrospect, it really wasn't that hard.
No, it really wasn't. And to be honest with you, I think that the carryover plays more into in wanting to play the pick 6. I'm not a traditional pick 6 player by any means. I'm more of a pick 5 player just because the economics behind it. But the pick 6 on carryover days offers a ton of value. And like you said, if you can play an economical ticket, which I believe is about 144 or under, then you can give yourself a shot. And like you said, it was pretty formful as well.
And the carryover effectively, if we were to do the math, eliminates the takeout. So you're playing the pick 6 with no takeout, like you said, with a carryover, probably wouldn't have paid $18,000, but on a carryover day it did. Yep. And you were the benefactor of everybody else's spoils. Race number 3, we're again sprinting on the main track. This time the abbreviated sprint distance of 5.5 furlongs for Calbred fillies and mares, maiden claimers. $50,000 is the claiming tag. Good race here. Field of 8. Number 1, Betty Pack, returning off the layoff for the Red Hot Steve Miotti barn, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. 8 ways you can go here, Chris. Which way are you going and why?
I like the number 5 and number 6 here. Chalk one up for Mom being the 5. I just looked at this horse a ton coming off the layoff. I really do like the 3 works back-to-back, the 2 at Pleasanton, but the one that's really important to me is the last one at Santa Anita. He ran the same distance, but also the same time, 47-1. I just think this horse coming off that layoff is going to do really well. Tamayo Isidro uses his jockey there 50% with Armando on. 61 to 180 days, 23%. Just the numbers figure well for me here, and I like that a lot.
You also like Be a Goldfish, second off the layoff for trainer Ian Kruljack. Broke from the rail last time, now gets a more advantageous outside draw.
Yeah, and I learned to be forgiving in this sport, Tom, and I look at those last 2 races back on the turf and where he didn't really do anything, but what's important is he came back and actually ran a decent race then. He ran into McCaman. I'm sorry, that's not the horse's name. But
yes, it's similar spelling, but different horse.
Different horse, yeah. But that horse actually took the lead and didn't look back, and Be a Goldfish did make up some ground and was chasing after him. So I expect a better run today, coming second off the layoff for Ian.
Chris, you've handicapped a ton of races, and already I can kind of tell that you can sense when there might be a bit of a price and when you have to concede to the favorite. What is it about maybe looking at race number 3 where you maybe think the favorite is vulnerable compared to race 1 and 2 where you think the favorites are not vulnerable?
Sure. Coming off a layoff, definitely you don't know what you're going to get, even if you're dropping in class. And I figure, even with Betty Pack being 2-1, I just want to see the value. I know Steve Miotti does really well off the break. But for me, this may be just a little bit not long enough for this horse. I think this horse wants to go maybe a little bit longer than the 5.5. So for me, it was more of a distance factor. But, this great sport, Tom, you could be wrong.
It is a great sport. And you're right about Steve Miotti being effective off the layoff, courtesy of Brad Free at the Racing Forum. Here's a statistic for the Steve Miotti barn. With maidens returning in excess of 180 days, which is exactly what Betty Pack is doing, he's 9 for 23. That's a really good win percentage, 9 for 23, almost 30%. So he's dangerous with maidens off the long layup. But as you mentioned, down inside, maybe wants farther, certainly looks like maybe a vulnerable favorite in race number 3. Race number 4 begins both the $2 pick 6 as well as the $3 all turf pick 3. And as you heard me mention at the opening, we are on the turf course today. The turf course is listed as good. All races go as scheduled. The $3 all turf pick 3 has a low 15% takeout. We've got a field of 9, the morning line favorite, number 5, Day Dawning. A couple of gentlemen I want to take notice of here. Number 6, Holly Go Quickly, the jockey Juan Hernandez. Happy birthday, Juan Hernandez. He celebrates a birthday today, as does the trainer of number 8, Happy as a Clam, Simon Callahan, also celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday to both those gentlemen. 9 ways you can go here, Chris. Who do you like and why?
I went with the 1 and 6 here. The 1 specifically because if you go back to those Ireland races and you look at the type of turf he ran on, it was yielding and soft. And lo and behold, today we get a good turf course, which is not very often in Southern California. So I hope to kind of play into there. You get a top turf jockey with Antonio Fresu, and Patty Gallagher is just an amazing turf trainer as well. So kind of taking a shot here with the 1 on the rail. Not the best post position, but I'm hoping that the experience over the soft turf course is going to play into his favor today.
If the designations are correct for those races in Ireland, which sometimes they are, sometimes they're not, she actually ran against the boys and was the beaten favorite once on the turf course, once on the poly track. But she ran very well in both turf races over a yielding or soft turf course. As you can see in the Daily Racing Form past performances, in May of 2024, she finished second in a 9-horse field as the beaten favorite. She also was well fancied in an 11-horse field back in March of 2023 at the Curragh, where she finished 3rd as well. So certainly if she can run back to that form, she could be effective today on the drop. Let's take a look at race number 5, Chris. Begins the 50-cent late pick 5. We're back sprinting on the main track. 6 furlongs the distance for maiden claiming Calbred 3-year-old fillies in for a $12,500 tag. This is one of those restricted races. We've got a field of 9. Take note, 5 of the 9 are actually putting on blinkers today. The morning line favorite, number 2, Nepali from the O.J. Haragi barn, 7-5 on the morning line. A number of these runners exit the same race that Nepali was the beaten favorite in. That particular race was the most recent race for a lot of these back on January 31st. We'll watch Nepali break from post position number 2. She was the odds-on even money choice. She got beat that day. She's a little bit camera shy. Nine tries, 5 seconds, 2/3, no victories yet. But let's listen to Frank Miramai to describe the action back on January 31st and watch a number of these runners compete, including number 2, Nepali, and also number 7, Roman Bronze, who in this workout is going to break from post position number 6.
And they're off. Awkward start for a rider's trick at the back of the field. Score for Alice and Nepali are the first 2 out of the gate. Smiling Rapper comes away in 3rd, a joint 3rd, in fact, with Roman Bronze literally just outside that rival. Looks like there's 1 horse. Then it's Little Venus on the inside of Robin's Tough Love. Robin's Tough Love passing horses extreme outside and a distance to a rider's trick. Into the far turn, Score for Alice leads 3/4 of a length. Nepali is in 2nd. Robin's Tough Love has made it all the way up to 3rd. Then Roman Bronze in 4th, followed by Smiling Rapper losing ground, 6 off the lead. Little Venus far off the rail and last. Past the quarter pole and Nepali takes over. Nepali the new leader over Score for Alice at the rail. Robin's Tough Love running a big race on the outside with a furlong left to go. And just behind them, Roman Bronze. It is Nepali with a short lead, just 3/4 of a length. Roman Bronze coming through on the inside and Robin's Tough Love. Nepali, Robin's Tough Love on the outside, and Nepali, it's too.
Desperate photo there, as we just saw it, 5.5 furlongs. Correct. Nepali, the beaten favorite, 5 consecutive times, couldn't quite get her nose down in front. Now she's got to go an extra half furlong. But you're still a believer. I'm a skeptic. You're a believer. Tell us why.
It's just one of those things. Hopefully today, again, you find your friends and we can get that lead. And it's the track for me. I hopefully that they can stick on the front end, right? But that's why we get another horse in here, the 7 horse, Roman Bronze. I feel like there's a lot of upside to this horse second out. The blinkers go on today, like you were saying, Tom, and The sprint distance for the trainer, 21%. I think we're going to take a shot.
I think it's really more like what the tote board says, right? If they're basically balanced on the tote board where they're the same price, maybe you give the edge to Nepali. But I just think Nepali is going to go off basically at odds on, as evidenced by the morning line. And there might be a little value in Roman Bronze. We saw Roman Bronze in that replay, finished a good third. Now that she's drawn outside, she's going to add blinkers, second-time starter. I just think there's some things to like about Roman Bronze. But you can certainly give her a lot of respect, putting her second on the graphic that we're looking at right now. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're going 2 turns on the main track. This is another one of the restricted races. It's a starter optional claiming race. A number of scratches in this race. If you have your pen handy, take out the following runners: 1, 5, 12, 13, and 14. 1, 5, 12, 13, and 14 all have been declared out of the race. One of the reasons might be they're all scared of number 8, Nameless, from the Jeff Mullins barn. Even money on the morning line has turned into a tiger off the claim by trainer Jeff Mullins. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here, Chris?
This is a real easy 2 thumbs up here, Tom. I think that Nameless is definitely the horse to beat. If you look at the past performances, 4 for 4 in his last 4 races, and just beating them, silly. You have 5 lengths, 2 lengths, half a length. This horse is going to be tough to beat today.
You talked about Nameless being your top choice. You also like the runner drawn right outside, which is Happy Does, who's a bit more of a price at 7-2. What do you like about Happy Does?
I just like that he's definitely going to be competing next to Nameless, right, and trying to keep up with that speed. I really think that could be the cold exacta there, 8-9. But other than that, I think the nod just goes to Nameless. I had to choose that second horse, and I just like that the outside speed there as well.
If you like Nameless, as Chris does, here's another overwhelming statistic courtesy of Brad Free at the Racing Form regarding trainer Jeff Mullins. This meet, Jeff Mullins has saddled 15 favorites. He's won with 11 of them. He's 11 for 15 with favorites so far this meet. That certainly might prove to be a bit overwhelming for Nameless to not win this race, given the precocity of what his barn does with favorites. Race number 7 begins at $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. We took a look at your pick 6 ticket, but we also know you had the $3 late pick 3. You like these low takeout wagers because obviously higher minimum, lower takeout means better payouts.
Absolutely. You can't beat it. The $5 double is another great example of that, where you see the payouts and you're going, why did it pay so much? Well, it's $5, but if you have an opinion, you can definitely maximize that. And the pick 3, again, $3 pick 3, it's a little bit more expensive, but if you have your opinion, you have that single, 2 horses by 2, you can make some.
It makes you
money.
sharpen up your ticket. You just can't go crazy and spread like you could if it's $1 or 50 cents. You know what I mean? You just go for $3 and all of a sudden, it rewards handicappers who put in the work and have a strong opinion.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see if you have a strong opinion in race number 7, where we're coming down the hillside turf course for fillies and mares. It's an allowance optional claiming race. Non-winners of 2, other than a good field of 8 here. Number 1, Venganza, fresh off the victory for trainer Richard Mandela, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. I thought this was probably the best betting race on the card. Chris, talk to us about who you like and why.
Yeah, no, I think that this is a value race today. I went with the 4 and the 6, the 4 being Royal Charter with Diego Herrera, Leonard Powell. I think that this horse today, again, second time off the layoff, will improve coming down the hill. He had that last race off the layoff at the same level for 80 claiming.
Lost Joe Mullins monster.
Yeah, he did.
Queen Maxima.
Yeah, it was a tough race that day to kind of run into that, but wasn't embarrassed, lost by 3.5 lengths, and I think today, again, can improve. With the 6 Vibes, you get JJ Hernandez for the Peter Barn. Talked about being forgiving earlier. Cross out the American Oaks Grade 1. It's just not the race for him. You look at the Del Mar going a mile, and milers do very well down the hill historically here at Santa Anita. So I went with Vibes and JJ coming again, stalking trip, should sit well and make a nice final rush down to the wire.
And if you're not familiar with the designation in the daily racing form, those who have been down the hill 6.5, they have a star in front of the 6.5. As you can see with number 1, Venganza, Chris talked about Vibes not having been down the hillside turf course. Don't be confused. That that May 27th, 2024 performance was on the flat turf course. That's why there's no asterisk or star in front of the 6.5. Important designation because, of course, both of them are completely different turf courses. Race number 8 begins the aforementioned $5 late daily double with a reduced 15% takeout. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track for allowance optional claiming types. Non-winners of 2 other than. Take note, the morning line favorite is also a first-time gelding. Number 6, Elwood Blues from the Bob Baffert barn, hasn't been seen in quite some time. Baffert puts this horse up for sale, $80,000. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Chris, we want to watch the workout for Elwood Blues, courtesy of our friends at firsttv.com. This was Elwood Blues' most recent workout on February 28th. That's him down on the inside, I want you to watch his performance throughout this workup, but I also want you to take note of his workmate. On the outside is Gaming. Gaming is a 3-year-old colt from the Bob Baffert barn who's going to be running in the Virginia Derby next weekend at Colonial Downs. It'll be on the main track. Colonial Downs taking over racing for Laurel Park next weekend, and Bob Baffert has enough confidence in tackling the Virginia Derby with Gaming to ship him across the country, and Flavian Pratt will be the jockey. But Elwood Blues coming off a long layoff, hasn't been seen since March of 2024. This is a good workout. The time is good. You'll see as they continue coming toward the finish line. Gaming actually does outwork Elwood Blues, but not by a big margin. My concern, Chris, and I think you like Elwood Blues, is my saying is, if Bob Baffert doesn't like him, I don't like him. He's willing to put this horse up for sale. He's protecting himself by gelling the horse to make sure he doesn't turn into a superstar stallion. And if they get claimed, they're going to get $80,000 plus 60% of the purse, which is another $42,000. So it'd be a huge payday. We'll see if anybody drops in for the claim. We can see the exercise rider now for Elwood Blues kind of asking him a little bit, whereas Gaming is going relatively easily. The takeaway for me is Elwood Blues certainly could win race number 8, but Gaming also is a very, very talented horse, and this is a really good workout prepping him for the Virginia Derby.
Absolutely. I think you nailed it. Having a workmate like Gaming, on your outside is going to be tough. So, Elwood Blues coming off the bench definitely has a little bit to prove for us today. And you mentioned that he is in for the tag, so something to look at there. The other horse I chose, the 5, Bartholdi, the horse for me just 4 times over the Santa Anita course. He's finished finished twice finishing first and twice finishing third. I just really think that Steve Knapp is loaded with this horse. I'd look specifically at that February 9th work 46 flat. That to me just shows the horse is ready and fit and ready to go.
Speaking about number 5, Bart Holdy, if you have the Daily Racing Form PPs in front of you, take a look at when Steve Knapp claimed this horse. He figured out what this horse wants to do. This horse wants to sprint on the main track. You can see now with 8 lifetime starts on the main track, 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3, 8 for 8 in the money. Previous trainers had this horse either going short or long in the turf course. And you'll recall my seminar guest this past weekend, Gary Mandela, talked about how horses can wake up with the change in surface. We've seen this time and time again. And Bart Holdy ran a really good 3rd in the grade 3 Palos Verdes last time out. No such animals as like Roland Big Joe, we think, in this particular field, unless Elwood Blues comes back like a monster. We close out the day in race number 9, which features the marquee bet on today's card. Nobody has hit the super high 5 in the last race for the last 2 days. Nobody hit it last Saturday. Nobody hit it last Sunday. That means today's carryover, $55,000 already in the kitty for the super high 5, which is a $1 minimum. And race number 9 will be run at 6 furlongs in the turf courts. It's for 3-year-olds. It's a starter optional claiming race. We've got a field of 8. Number 4, Targarius is the 5-2 morning line favorite. This is a really good betting race. Not a big field, but it's going to be a difficult super high 5 to hit, in my opinion.
No, I absolutely agree. I kind of played into the fact that, that the grass was going to be good today, Tom. So I kind of looked ahead at that and just my handicapping angle. I don't disagree. Targarius deserves to be the favorite. But I liked it's a factor because if you look, he ran on the Santa Anita, again, good turf course there. And he took the lead that day at the mile. And he's going to be tough cutting back today, coming back to 6 furlongs. I think that when those horses stretch out, they get a little bit more fitness in them. So cutting back today, I look at, he should get that lead again and hopefully have enough to continue.
And Ern Given was that Tiger from the Mark Glad barn, ridden by Victor Espinoza, I believe, odds on that particular afternoon. So finishing second to him was no disgrace. You also like number 7, Checks on the Way, who switches jockeys over to Umberto Rispoli, who has a good improving buyer speed figure pattern for the birthday boy Simon Callahan, also with that good effort on the turf course last time out in the same race.
Yeah, no, you definitely get Umberto Rispoli coming onto this horse. That only adds to the appeal coming with the turf course. Happy birthday to Simon Callahan. I hope you get a winner today to help me out look good on this card. So, but yeah, Checks on the Way, great name. But I think that could be the exacta there, and I think that you can throw Targarius in for a trifecta play.
And Checks on the Way has been certainly an improved animal ever since adding Lasix 2 races back. Chris, we're going to go in just a minute, but before we do, I know you do a lot of the work that you said. You put a lot of things on Instagram, and you've got a website and Twitter, and if people want to kind of keep in touch with you more on a daily basis than you and I just meeting up every 6 months on the seminar set, how do they do that?
Yeah, so Instagram, Vic's Paddock Picks. You can go in there, follow. I post all of my picks for free. They're up on the site, and it's just more entertainment purposes and to enjoy horse racing, bringing new eyes to the game, bringing new bettors into the game, and then Live and Breathe Horse Racing, which is another website that we use on Facebook. A good friend of mine, Gabe Vitarian, he runs that site and has a lot of good contests and things like that. I sponsored a contest on there as well. I have my own contest today, so if you go and follow me on Instagram, Vic's Paddock Picks, there's a $25 free roll for 2 followers. So if you're on Instagram, give us a follow. a lot of good free information. I appreciate it. Yeah.
And you're also a horse owner. Victor Racing is part of your stable, and you have a lot of fun with that. And you're always looking to have people come along and have fun and invest.
Absolutely. Victor Racing is going strong. We're doing well. We got a couple of runners, and we're looking to always grow that partnership as well with new owners and new blood, and just getting small pieces of the pie and enjoying the racetrack.
Chris, congratulations on the nice hit on Sunday. Do it again sometime real soon. And when you do, we'll have you back on the seminar.
I appreciate it, Tom. Thank you for your time.
Thanks to all of you for your time as well. Don't forget, there is one more wager to consider now. Every single Friday of the meet, the $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5 is in action. Today's sequence, as you can see, starts with Gulfstream Park, race number 8, 1:38 p.m. Pacific time. 3 races from Santa Anita, higher minimum, low takeout. You know the story, better payouts as well. It always pays well. Live racing, besides today, resumes tomorrow. We've got an 11-race card both today and tomorrow. Tomorrow's card starts at high noon. Make sure you tune in and watch the seminar at 10:50 a.m. Pacific time. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Hope you have a great afternoon and good luck.